gonna tell you what I made today, all day, okay? First of all, we have fruit. We have an orange and strawberry fruit, and I sprinkle cinnamon over it. And sometimes people say, oh, raw food is so complicated. You know what I mean? You gotta dehydrate and do all this. It's really, really simple. You don't have to do a whole lot of preparation. Thank you for coming to the Yaba Pot. We are here today to learn about some basic raw food techniques with Tanya and Liz, who just completed the 21-day raw food challenge. The purpose of this video is to show you some basic techniques on how to make very, very simple raw food dishes for you to try at home while you're doing the 21-day challenge, either here in Baltimore with the Yaba Pot or wherever you are in the entire universe. So we're gonna start by making our famous royal seaweed salad. And when we get our seaweed, it comes dried. This is wakame. And all you have to do is rehydrate it with water, and in 5 minutes, it's ready. And they have different kinds. I prefer wakame because of the taste. Now, just like collards, kale, mustard greens, turnip greens have different flavors, the seaweeds, which are really sea greens of the sea, they all have different flavors. Ready, we're just gonna take a bunch of it and put it, and this is gonna just serve like just two or three of us. So I'm just gonna take some of that from the side. Our seasonings, we're gonna use, this is minced garlic. Actually, I'm gonna bring it over here. Minced garlic. And everything we're making is like 5 to 10 minutes. I have a habit of cutting from the back to the front. But, so we're gonna put some fresh tomato in it. And really, it's all about what you would like to put in it. So we got scallions, mushrooms, tomatoes, the seaweed, and garlic. And then we're gonna use a little sesame oil. That's gonna give it a different flavor. Now you don't have to use sesame oil. You can use olive oil. Some extra virgin, but this is just gonna flavor it up a little. And this is some soy sauce. Now I'm gonna show you, or you can use liquid aminos.
Oh, I have those.
Yes, okay. And this is so yummy and delicious.
It looks really good. That was fast.
Fast. This is not about, 100 years from now. We're doing this today.
That was a concern I had about the raw food because I just hate spending a lot of time in the kitchen. So I like fast and easy.
And then we just garnish with some sesame seeds, and it's done. Isn't that groovy? That's our royal seaweed salad, and it's yummy. Yummy.
This is delicious. This is really good.
This evening are natural. They are 100% palm fronds that have been pressed into the shape of plates. Raw food is tasty, nourishing, fulfilling, everything you get from standard American diet, you can get from raw food eating. So,
according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, it says that food is material that is taken in by an organism and it's used for fuel, for repair, for maintaining the vital processes, and for growth. There are 4 reasons why you should eat. Super Bowl, right? Or let's think about the Super Bowl game. What normally happens in most families? Do we sit and go through the different reasons why we should eat? We eat them for fuel, for growth, for repair, and for maintaining the vital processes. When we sit with the big bowls of food and we fall asleep on the table, are we really thinking fuel, growth, repair, and maintenance? Because if you're using it for fuel or to give you energy, the food should cause you to get up and want to do things, correct? If it puts you to sleep, was that food? The carb effect. It's poison, right? It's taking your energy away. All right? If food doesn't repair your body but instead makes you sick, can you classify that as food? Are we sure? So if you eat foods that cause the cholesterol levels to go up, can you classify that as food?
And again, the coconut water is, I mean, as far as fasting,
What about the fiber?
the fiber, I mean, between that, and, I mean, there's some islands where they're just coconuts. I mean, you have no choice.
So the inside of the coconut.
So the inside of the coconut, I mean, that provides, I mean, that's why, you know, like coconut oil has exploded in the last few years. I mean, from the work, Bruce Fife, who's been the main researcher, he has a number of books on the benefits of coconut oil. And, you know, again, that's where the, you know, that's our food. You know, the coconut oil, between that, the fiber, I mean, we can live on coconuts.
This class is going to show you how to do this economically and tastefully, because I think that the challenge is the taste. And if it doesn't taste good, then you want to switch it, right? And one of the things is that I can testify to the fact that when you switch hit, you mess yourself up. Because I did it. First I did it 1 year, but I didn't have recipes. And so it was incredibly difficult to do it without recipes. You know, fruit and greens gets a little boring. But it was excellent for your body. Actually, it's like when you come back to hear Doug Graham talk, you'll hear about that's when you really arrived, when you can do that sort of thing. And it's because this diet is so powerful that God has given you everything that you need to sustain yourself. And what you got to do is know it. So the way this is just so easy that you could do it. You could do this with your eyes closed. I'm going to put in tomatoes. Right? I'm gonna add some sun-dried tomatoes to it. You can even take your own tomatoes if you have a dehydrator and start dehydrating your tomatoes for a little in here. That was basil, sorry. That was basil. Yeah, basil, oregano would work well with this particular soup also. This is like, this is almost like one of my staples for the winter. So I would normally cut up four cloves. So I'm gonna say that's 4 cloves. Okay. And then I'm gonna put a little cayenne in this because I like taste. It's not gonna be hot, it's gonna be just a kick, you know, give it a little kick. And I'm gonna add a little agave. And a lot of times I would use dates, and probably when I give you the recipe, I would give it to you with dates. But I was running, I don't have dates. So, and I don't know where the top is, that's another little thing. And just for salt taste, we're gonna use a little soy sauce.
Just a little bit about myself. I was originally diagnosed with type 1 diabetes November of 2005. I was hospitalized with a blood glucose level of about 1,200 milligrams per deciliter. They haven't seen anyone with blood sugars that high. Luckily, I didn't go into a coma, but typically over 500, 600, you are more likely to go into a coma. But you know, this is a progressive disease. It's going to be with you for the rest of your life, and you're going to be on insulin for the rest of your life. At that point, it really threw me for a loop because, you know, I always felt that I could overcome things. And to hear that there's nothing you can do about it, just kind of, it makes you feel defeated, and you kind of don't want to do anything about it. And within the following week, I was flying out to Patagonia, Arizona to participate in a 30-day raw food challenge. I'm going to show you a film as far as what we've gone through over those 30 days, and I'll talk to you about my experience, as well as helping, if any of you are diabetic or know anyone who's diabetic, how to reverse their diabetes. Because the problem that I come across when I work with physicians, they don't believe that this is possible. So if you don't believe it's possible, you can't show other people how to do it.
Next, we're gonna make some live collards. And collards are such a beautiful green. I love it. They're one of my favorite greens. And these have already been washed. And we don't really need this much. I'm just picking up the darker ones. And this will serve about 2 to 3 is what we're shooting for, probably more. So basically what I do is I just take the collards, they're washed and dried out, and then I just roll them, and this is the easiest way to cut collards. And then we're gonna do it as fine as we can, because this helps break down the coarseness of it. I have to go all the way down. Then we're gonna do a little onion. The important thing is having a sharp knife, because if you don't have a sharp knife, it's just, you're gonna be here all day and it's not gonna be fun, you know? So, knives, good knives, and a good knife sharpener, because even if the best knife gets dull. So with this amount, I don't need all this onion. I'm just gonna do like a quarter of this whole big onion. I guess that would be me measuring, just because I say I don't need to put that much. And we're gonna try to go, that's it. So we're gonna do onion, and the tears are popping off. Woo, onions are strong. A little garlic. I love garlic. And we're gonna use some extra virgin olive oil.
Now, does it matter what type of oil was
Better?
Yeah.
Extra virgin olive oil is the one we want to use the most for the raw food movement, because this is some sea salt. Because it's not been heated or processed, you know, it's the best one for it. Now, in terms of sweeteners, we're going to put some maple syrup, and it gives it a nice flavor. A lot of people tend to use agave nectar, raw agave nectar. But I actually like the flavor of maple syrup. It's not 100%, it's not raw at all, but it is a sweetener. And I think the amount of collards that you're eating raw compared to the maple syrup to enhance the flavor balances. So that's kind of like my philosophy on that.
Do you use grade B?
When I can get it, yes. Absolutely. Grade B is the better. In fact, I was doing the master cleanse. Yeah.
Grade B is better. I'm not
Grade B. Grade A would be what?
Yeah,
Yes.
never. It's funny because that's just not, you know, the way I was raised in the family. You don't put your hands in food, you know.
Right, but you want to put your energy, because anytime you make food for people, you want to put your vibes into it. And you always, when you're preparing food, you want to be of the mindset of pure contentment and happiness, because you want that to reflect in the food. And that's it.
It's done?
It's done.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It's just marinated collard.
It's the maple syrup. It's
And you see, the maple has a flavor.
Zentellin, and we're going to talk about colon hydrotherapy, colon hydrotherapy, colon hydrotherapy. All the details of what colon hydrotherapy is, what to expect, why you should do it, who shouldn't do it, how to eat, before and after, how to prepare for a client, so on and so forth. So it's really helpful. So definitely keep it and read through it. We're just going to highlight some of the main points. But I think it'll be a good reference for you because it's just sort of quick and easy to say, oh yeah. And the author pretty much wrote the book as a question and answer type of thing. Because people often have questions. What is it? Oh, I heard that it does this. Colon hydrotherapy is just it's like an internal washing. It's the gentle cleansing of the colon. And the colon is the large intestines, also referred to as the bowel. But you'll hear people refer to it in any number of ways: colon, large intestines, bowel, what have you. But it's basically the cleansing using water, warm, purified water. That's it. So it's very safe. It's really like an enema. The system that we use in my practice is an open system where we're basically able to continuously receive the water and continuously release the waste as it leaves. So it's called a continuous flow, continuous release system. And it's an open system. Some of the closed system colonic devices have to be turned on and off when water is going into the colon, and on and off as the client needs to release waste. But the system that we use, which is a FDA approved open system, very comfortable, very easy. The only, I guess, sort of unusual thing about it is you're laying down having a bowel movement. So once you kind of get over that concept, it's really simple, and it really is just like having an enema, if you've ever had an enema, and you feel really, really good afterwards. Some of the benefits are vast. A lot of times people will come just because they know they don't eat well, or they know that they don't eliminate properly, or some people will come with chronic conditions, whether it's skin conditions, whether it's weight issues.
Tonight is what day are we on now? 14th day of the Raw Food Challenge. So we're like 2 weeks out, and I am feeling fantastic, and I hope you all are feeling fantastic. This challenge for me has been the easiest, and I think, I must admit, I have to say it's probably the hardest for me than anybody else. What we're going to be making here is a lot of the items we feature at the restaurant anyway, and people enjoy them, so we're going to make them. And I'm going to start off with a real simple dish called the live lo mein. And the live lo mein consists of mung bean sprouts, washed and rinsed. And if you came to the sprouting workshop the other day, I think Adam had some mung bean sprouts. They're fairly simple to grow. However, they're also very inexpensive. You can get them at the Asian market by the bag load, and they're like 50 cents a pound, and you know, they're light, so you can get a whole bunch for $1 something. You know what I mean? So this is a great meal for a budget that's not large. We're gonna use scallions. We're gonna use red and green pepper, purple cabbage, and some snow peas. Now, so anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with some scallions. In fact, what I've been doing is I've been cutting them about this long now because I grow them now. So I'm gonna pull those out in a minute. but you can actually cut them all the way to the very, very end. It's not a problem. But then once someone showed me that all you got to do is take this part, put it in a cup of water, and you have more scallions. You never have to buy scallions anymore. So I got about 2 pots of scallions growing. Yeah, just keep it growing. So you're just gonna finely dice this. And they say the bear claw is how you're supposed to, but I'm trying to keep them all together, so. And I'm not trained in any culinary art school. A lot of people ask me that. But I am a self-trained chef, and I learned how to cut just by practicing, I guess. So basically the ingredients are, and then you can also improvise with whatever you have. You can put some carrots in there. In fact, we're gonna get some carrots. I'll send for some carrots. We'll get some carrots in there. We're gonna do red and green pepper. And so essentially these are all salads that we're making, but they're flavorful and they're different. They're not just the average, you know, iceberg lettuce salad, you know what I mean? Essence brought me this mandolin, which I've had this piece of equipment for like 3 years now. So it's pretty, but it works, and it stays sharp, so. But this, you can cut everything fine, and it's faster. But I'm telling you right now, this thing will cut your hand. I've already cut the whole side of my finger off. It was a delicious dish, I could tell you, because it was a real theme. So sometimes I just am too paranoid to go down too low. Or I just go slower when I get to. Alrighty. And this dish is very pretty. One thing about raw food is it's much more colorful. The snow peas, we're just going to put them in like so. And una carota. We get the carrot. I don't peel carrots either. I don't peel anything. I hate peeling. So I'm gonna go on an angle like this. And then what I do from here is I take like a few stacks of them, and I just matchstick it, or julienne is what they say, and then you just kind of and cat. So, and then you could use agave nectar or brown rice syrup or maple syrup as a sweetener. I'm just gonna put a little bit in here. And then just some minced garlic. And that's pretty much it. And then we're just gonna shred some ginger in there, and that's pretty much it. It's done. And we'll just let that sit for a little while and soak up and move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Really, I'm amazed at it too. I mean, I feel like, I was having a conversation with someone today about, we're gonna also garnish with a little sesame seeds, which gives it some flavor. And these are toasted. And I must admit, like the whole nutritional thing we were talking about, like those people who are ill and need to do raw food to really like take their body with whatever you have. You can put some carrots in there. In fact, we're gonna get some carrots. I'll send for some carrots. We'll get some carrots in there. We're gonna do red and green pepper. And so essentially these are all salads that we're making, but they're flavorful and they're different. They're not just the average, you know, iceberg lettuce salad, you know what I mean? Essence brought me this mandolin, which I've had this piece of equipment for like 3 years now. So it's pretty, but it works, and it stays sharp. So, but this you can cut everything fine, and it's faster. But I'm telling you right now, this thing will cut your hand. I've already cut the whole side of my finger off. It was a delicious dish, I can tell you, because it was a real scene. So sometimes I just am too paranoid to go down too low, or I just go slower when I get to. Alrighty. And this dish is very pretty. One thing about raw food is it's much more colorful. The snow peas, we're just going to put them in like so. And una carota. We get the carrot. I don't peel carrots either. I don't peel anything. I hate peeling. So I'm gonna go on an angle like this. And then what I do from here is I take like a few stacks of them, and I just matchstick it, or julienne is what they say, and then you just kind of and cat. So, and then you could use agave nectar, or brown rice syrup, or maple syrup as a sweetener. I'm just going to put a little bit in here, and then just some minced garlic, and that's pretty much it. And then we're just going to shred some ginger in there, and that's pretty much it. It's done. And we'll just let that sit for a little while and soak up, and move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Really, I'm amazed at it too. I mean, I feel like I was having a conversation with someone today about, oh, we're gonna also garnish with a little sesame seeds, which gives it some flavor. And these are toasted. And I must admit, like the whole nutritional thing we were talking about, like those people who are ill and need to do raw food to really like take their body.
It's a violent process. And as we're looking at a world around us that's becoming more and more violent day in and day out, it's very important that we recognize the relationship between nutrition and what we're eating and the outcome that we're seeing all throughout the world, that people are just so violent. And I'll use the example of processed foods. Once you process food, you've got to now, normally you package it. So now you've got to put it in some type of a plastic or some type of a packaging that has got a label on it and got ink and got all kinds of things going on with it. Well, after you get finished opening up that package, now you've got to discard that package. And that's part of that violent process. Of course, the first part of it is the processing of the food. Once you take an apple and you decide you want to make it applesauce, depending on how you make it, if you heat it up, now you're heating it up above 112, 117 degrees many times, and now you've killed the enzymes. Notice I say killed the enzymes, right? Killing is violent. So you've killed the enzymes in that food, and that food no longer has the wherewithal to give you the same life energy that it would when it was a raw organic apple. Y'all with me? All right, great. Just want to make sure. And likewise with the processes.
coming to you live and direct from Honorum, the Asian market on Rolling Road and Route 40 in Baltimore, Maryland. And we're here to show you the number coding system, the PLU numbers that are used to describe whether this eggplant right here is conventional, genetically modified, or organic. And this number is a 4081, the first number being a 4. This is a conventional product. We're going to look around and see what other conventional, genetically modified, or organic produce we can find here. Peace.
Okay.
So, nonetheless, we were kicked out of the Asian market, but it's okay. We still have a mission. This papaya is genetically modified, and you'll note by the number, I don't know if you could see it, it's a 3112, it's a Caribbean red papaya, and it breaks my heart because papaya is such a delicious fruit, and this one has been genetically modified with what? I don't know, but don't buy these. I got it from the store, so we can continue this, but